and she comes sliding in. If y'all knew your pastor and what goes on behind the scenes. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Great.
So today is our final Wee Wednesday show of 2025. 2025. And we're getting ready to go into 2026. So today, this morning, we want to talk about positioning your family, positioning your marriage to have success in 2026. So closing the year out right. That's the key, closing the year out right. So tonight, we need to understand that when we're celebrating New Year's Eve, when we're making all of our New Year's Eve declarations, when we're making all these promises, we're going to diet, we're going to save money, we're going to read the word more, we're going to pray more, we're going to exercise, when we're going to do all of that, we need to understand that we need to be a little bit reflective today, throughout the day, because New Year's Eve has a way of making us reflect, right? We need to think about, as we're reflecting today, before we make all these New Year's resolutions, that's what they're called, right?
Yes.
What worked last year, right? What was successful for us? What didn't work last year, right? What are things that we maybe made New Year's resolutions about that we didn't do? It didn't work for us, right? What are we proud of? What are some of the things that we did that we are proud that we did this year? And what are things that, as we think back and we look back, we potentially might have done a little bit differently, right? But we need to understand that for our families, for our marriages, this night shouldn't be about regret. I think that's the thing that we get a little bit caught up into. It should be about reset. That's okay. It should be about alignment. That's okay. But what we find on this night is too many couples drift into the new year carrying unresolved tension, carrying poor habits, carrying unexpected expectations. And I think, and this is what I want to just hear from you on a little bit, I think that unexpected expectations is the one thing, especially in marriage, that I want to use the word dogs of marriage, or haunts. Well, we're a spiritual show. I won't use the word haunt, but dogs, haunts, beats down. It's like a millstone, if you want to use the word, around the neck of the marriage. Unspoken expectation. What do you think about that?
I totally agree with what you're saying. It's like a millstone about the neck. The yoke is heavy.
Right.
I think we focus on so much about what we want instead of what's good for the unit. Thinking about pleasing your mate, not so much about pleasing yourself.
Right.
If we could just take more time and think about first pleasing God and then pleasing our mates, I'm sure things will start to come together and you will get that reset. But you're going to have to sit down and talk about some things. Because I think unspoken expectations is things that are unspoken you have in your own mind that you're expecting, but you haven't even told your mate or your spouse what you're thinking. And it only comes out maybe in an argument or when you're upset. And it won't have the proper tone and it won't be received. So I think communication, sitting down, talking about the things that maybe went awry. If you can't talk to that person, start with prayer and start with yourself.
Right. So it sounds like you're saying clarity, unity, purpose, right? Clarity, unity, purpose. Might want to write that down. You know, people ask me all the time, like when we have a word from the Lord for the new year, like ours is around, the go gospel, it's time to go. Well, how does that really relate to my family? How does that really relate to my career? How does that really relate to my children, right? And I just remember the greatest thing that being at Revealing Truth and then later being at Life Transforming Ministries gave us was That's how we kept God first. We focused on the vision of the gospel of Jesus. And by having that central theme, it brought everything else together. It was the alignment centerpiece, the alignment focal point, that what we're called to do, what God's called us to do, what's that purpose.
And I think when you say we, that's the main thing. We both came to that conclusion, that and we both aligned in our mind and in our hearts.
Right.
Not so much about performance.
But even when it wasn't we, because at times it wasn't. Sometimes we were we. But no, even there, sometimes it was me. Sometimes I would have a season where you just weren't really as engaged in the church.
Right. That's
right. And then sometimes I wouldn't be. I would have a season that, man, and it was always one of us being strong for the vision of God. We knew that had to be the thing.
But we did come into one.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
And I think because each one of us loved Christ,
right,
loved God, and we wanted to please.
But I'm just saying, when your spouse doesn't love God,
you have to.
You got to keep going.
You got to work out your own soul salvation.
Right.
You have to work out your own soul salvation.
And that in itself is the we, that you're willing to pick up the mantle, but because it's not you do your thing,
he do his thing.
And he does it. It's you pick up the mantle to be that example. Remember, the whole go gospel, everything we're talking about, everything we've learned this year starts with us inside.
That's right.
Then us together as a unit. But we got to fix ourselves individually. So I think the number one thing going in the new year that'll help you today as you reflect is close out the year with gratitude, with thanksgiving, with appreciation, not grudges, right? Unresolved offenses is one of the most dangerous things in a marriage, in family, in ministry. If you're offended with your pastor, go see him. If you're offended with your wife, go see her. If you're offended with your brother, go see him. Unresolved offenses will drag you down.
Oh, and it will blind
you. Yeah, you don't need to relive every argument, and that's what happens when we carry that. But you just need to release some things.
But because we're always interested in who's right and who's wrong.
Right.
You just got to forget most of the time who's right and who's wrong.
Right.
And just do what God is telling you to do, which is called unconditional love. Still love them, even though they may be wrong. Maybe it doesn't matter. Live as God tells us to live and apply that word to our lives, and God will change it.
Yeah.
God changes them. We can't change it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, point number 2 is alignment beats resolution. Sometimes you can resolve something and think you got it all right, but you're still not aligned.
Right.
Alignment's the most important thing.
Unity.
But write this down for point number 1 before I go to point number 2. Gratitude shifts the atmosphere of the home. When we come to that place of thankfulness, when we come to that place of letting go, right? And a hack for that is, as a family or as a couple, answer these 2 questions as you're thinking about letting go. What am I thankful for this year? And what do I need to let go of before tomorrow? Sit down today and think about what you're thankful for. What was good? I could tell you 1,000 things Pastor Franny could have did better. Right? I could tell you 1,000 things that she messed up. She could probably tell you 1,000 things that I messed up. But 1,000 things I could have done better. But instead of that, let's look at the things that we're thankful for. I'm thankful she's still here. Because you know what? She don't have to be. I just take that for granted that she's in good health and she's good and she's not on her deathbed. I take that for granted. But we need to be thankful for that, right? Because it could have been another way. We're right down the street from where she went underneath an 18-wheeler over 42 years ago. And this might have never happened. These 42 great years may have never happened if that would have been another way. So what are you thankful for? And what do you need to let go, right? You don't need to move forward by pretending. We need to understand that. We got to let go. So point number 2 was point number 1. Close the year being thankful. Let the grudges go. Number 2, alignment beats resolution. Some of you are so focused on being right, so focused on the resolution. Get alignment. Most New Year's resolutions fail because they're individual. They're not aligned. Marriage and family don't thrive on separate goals. Marriage and family thrive on shared direction. Right? Well, what if we don't align, Pastor? Then you get on the road. Because if there's no alignment relative to the vision of God for your household, even if your husband doesn't have it, it just means somebody's not on the road. And if you say, well, there's no alignment relative to God in my house, that means neither one of you are on the road. Because when I wasn't on the road, Franny was on the road. I have somebody I've been talking to, this person told me, I'm not sticking my head in the sand no more this year, Pastor. I'm going to take my head out. Yeah, you make sure your family's doing what God said to do, period. Like I told y'all about Pastor Franny, there were a few things she didn't play about. I could do whatever I wanted to do. But when it came to money, it came to God, it came to her serving the Lord, that's what she did. Everything else, I could screw all the money up I wanted. But as for her and our house, we were going to tithe. She was going to go to church. She was going to sing in the choir. Nothing was going to stop that. Nobody. I could get with it or I didn't have to be with it. That was fine too. But that's what she was going to do. God in the church, in First Baptist Church of Lincoln Gardens, right there, I could see it out my window. It was first. Period. Before me.
Oh, God, that's before everyone.
Right. Before everyone. So if one spouse is pressing forward and the other is standing still, right? Tension is guaranteed, right? That's okay. Alignment doesn't mean perfection. Alignment means somebody's walking in a direction.
I love that. Alignment does not mean perfection. Sometimes we're not happy if everything's not going our way. If they do one thing, be happy for that. People don't all try to do all their way or they're just not happy.
Right.
And that's just not even godly, really.
Right. I wouldn't ever bother somebody about coming to church. Right? They're not coming, Pastor. They're not serving, Pastor. Leave them alone. You do your thing.
Go home and love them.
Right. These are the questions you got to answer together with you and your husband. What kind of family do we want in 2026? What needs to change to get us there? What stays the same and what goes? Right? For us, it's always about God. But Pastor, what he wants has nothing to do with God.
Right. Well, there's other areas. I was just going to say there's other areas you can align on.
Right.
It don't always have to be God. That's sometimes other areas that starts the alignment with God.
Right.
Because you're not pressing, you're not trying to force someone.
Right.
God shouldn't be forced on anyone.
Right. We're just saying don't let anyone, your wife or your husband, make God not be first in your life.
Right.
We can align on all these other things, but this is first. So let's say he says, well, I want to align around on Sundays, going to the football games together. Okay, we can do that. But we're going to go to the games that aren't on Sunday morning. We don't have to go to every game. We can go to some games together. There's ways to do it. Well, our kid's going to be in a travel league. Okay, he could be in the travel league. But when it comes to us we're going to go to church as a family first. And if he's got travel league during that time, he just ain't going to be traveling. Or you're not going to be. I'm going to be at church serving the Lord. There's a lot of times this happens, folks. This is how you bring change into your house. Something's got to be first. Something's got to give. What's that song? Something's got to change.
Mm-hmm. And also, too, I remember a few times not going to church and staying home and doing whatever they wanted to do. It didn't change my love for God or my salvation.
Right. So she said a few times. Yeah, sometimes you do got to change your schedule a little bit, right? That's the bottom line. So as the clock strikes midnight tonight, let's not just celebrate. Let's decide on how we're going to live 2026. How we're going to bring these things that we decide to pass, right? It needs to be clear. That's for sure. It needs to be more intentional. That's for sure. It needs to be unified. Those things are for sure. Amen. So listen, I want to just let you know tonight, we're going to have a New Year's Eve service. We've never had this at Life Transforming Ministries. How come it ain't coming up? Oh, hold on. I thought I put this thing in here. Wow. I thought I had the New Year thing in here. Oh, there it is. Tonight we're going to have what's called our first fruit encounter. We're going to have worship, word, and the seed at LTM. I know it's going to be cold, but we bought a lot of food. We bought some drinks, not drinks like alcohol, but some stuff to drink. I got to always clarify that.
Yeah.
It's tonight. It starts at 10 o'clock. It'll be 10 to 12:30. We'll be out of there by 12:30. We'll have you home. But we're going to have our white elephant exchange. What is that? It's a gift under $25. You cannot bring a gift over $25. Please wrap it, put it in a bag, whatever you want to do. And what we do is we have this big gift exchange. It's a fun time. We're going to be doing that in the sanctuary. The kids are going to be playing. We're going to have food. We're going to have all of that from 10 o'clock to 11:30. At 11:30, we're going to start our worship service. We're going to bring the new year in together. We're going to say Happy New Year. Right after Happy New Year comes, I just have a few words that the Lord's put on my heart, Pastor Franny and I, to give you going into the new year. Just a little bit of encouragement to get us going. Then we're going to receive communion together. That's the first thing we're going to do. Matter of fact, that might be the very first thing that we do. Receive communion after Happy New Year. And then we're going to go home. We're going to go home and we're going to wake up tomorrow morning, have our pancakes, do our thing, whatever it is that we do. But we're excited to see you tonight. We had a great Christmas service. We want to see everybody out tonight. I know it's going to be a little cold. We'll have the heater on in the church. We're going to be there having a great time. So until tonight, Pastor Nick, Pastor Franny, until the new year, Financial Wisdom Friday, the first show of the new year this Friday. Until then, Pastor Nick, Pastor Franny saying, enjoy life.